To the family of Sylvester Mark from Virgin Lane, our heartfelt sympathies for a number of years.
Yeah.
He was a member of the union.
DPSU.
Yes, of the PSU. In fact, he has a lot of relatives in my village. His sister was married to my uncle.
Wow.
And
close enough.
Yes, I was very close. My uncle died about 2 years ago. And yes, about that 3 years ago. And also, this gentleman, Joseph the Bonnie from Portsmouth. Right, that was his brother. Also.
Right.
And, we just want to extend our heartfelt sympathies to him, to his family, sorry, and to all those who may have lost their loved ones.
Right. I too want to just extend condolences to the Victor family. I know they laid to rest the ashes of their mother, who died in the States, but the ashes were brought to Dominica yesterday. So that's in my area in Cottage. And we also have Antoine tomorrow, I think, will laid to rest in Tukari. So all the family and the people in that community, the best condolences.
Yes, for the same. All right, so this evening, as I said, we are going to be talking about Christmas and how it used to be. We remember the viande cochon parfumé and all those things. Remember the caroling. I don't see much of that anymore.
That is a fading part of our culture and tradition.
Definitely.
That used to be. I don't know. People might try to blame COVID, but long before COVID, I think the caroling used to be such a very prominent feature of the Christmas season. I too used to partake. We used to start, sometime 8, 9 o'clock and go till next morning.
Yes.
House to house. And in those days, you go, you get shodo, you get coffee, you get cocoa, you get a little guag, you get money. People would just really reach out and enjoy the season. You would have choirs going around, really, really nice. That was, you would know that Christmas is in the air.
What we used to do in my area, Brother Steve, is that we used to work with our pot of food, and we tie a string to the handle, and then we walk all the way with that thing. Well, when the parties, Christmas parties, going from house to house in the village on Christmas Day.
Yes,
all this was so much fun, Brother Steve. We have another caller, Brother Steve. So let's just take that caller who might be contributing or sharing his or her experience with us. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening. And how are you, my dear?
I'm doing fine. Let me just belated birthday greetings to you.
Thank you
and
so much.
Advanced birthday greetings going out to your friend Matilda Popo, who will be celebrating her birthday on Friday.
All right.
Okay, my Popo.
Sister Popo, I'm sure she might be listening.
Christmas Eve.
Thank you.
Yeah, on Friday she'll be celebrating her birthday.
All right. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Good month to be born.
Yes.
And let me just wish you all thanks for the year and a bright and blessed and a healthy Christmas.
Oh. Thank you.
I don't know nothing about Merry and Happy Christmas, a blessed and a healthy Christmas.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
All right.
Excellent.
Another caller, good evening.
Well, we used to go at the back of the houses. At that time, you don't want to sleep whole night.
Yes.
And we just singing and making merry and everything. And if you see rain falling, and the person doesn't want to open the door, look at quite la
So they move
yeah, they have to come and open the door and give us the coffee, the rum, the massive. Good mastiff at the time, not what we have now.
Yes.
Real mastiff.
Cake and everything. Those were happy times.
Happy times. And the 25 cents that they gave you, the 10 cents meant so much.
Change again.
Yes, it's really a little change. In our case, Brother Steve, what we used to do with the money that we collected is that we would have a picnic on
we'll make a nice
Boxing Day, on New Year's. New Year's Day.
New Year's Day, yeah.
You know, that was just
a big
fun.
jot. You buy some drinks and you cook some food and you have a good time. Yeah.
And Brother Steve, the good thing about it is that people shared, you know.
That's right.
I know in my village, for example, people would take turns raising a pig.
Right.
So this year it is your turn.
Yes.
To really
slaughter and to share.
Right, to slaughter and share.
Yeah.
And next year another neighbor does it.
Yes.
And throughout the year, what you will find is all waste.
Yes.
You know, the neighbors would pass it on to whoever is using.
The peelings. Yes, of course. In fact, the days preceding Christmas, there was a song in the air in the community. The pigs would be screaming, and you know that they've been slaughtered.
Yes.
And of course, you know, you would sell a little meat, but generally a lot of the meat was given away.
Yes.
You know, it was that sense of community.
Right. Yes, we have another caller. Caller, good evening. Thank you for calling.
Good evening. And it's not too late to say Merry Christmas. It's already right in the Christmas season.
Right.
Yes.
Or maybe we're right in the Christmas day already.
Yes.
So, I mean, people have become so divided.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure as to whether it's only Dominica, but maybe the world over have become so divided.
I think so, you know.
Yeah.
You know?
Selfish too.
Families are not like families like before. You know, I mean, what has really caused that? What has really caused that? Is it selfishness?
That's one of the reasons, I think.
Is it hatred? Is it politics? Is it religion? I don't think it's religion.
No.
At one time it used to be religion. At one time, because religion at one time caused family members to turn against each other.
Right.
Because in one household you have about three different people in three different religions.
Yes.
No, nobody studies that now. Everybody goes to church and, you know, at a time they meet like Christmas and they enjoy the season together. Who don't want to drink alcohol or drink juice?
Sorry.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the part about that, I mean, and Dominica is so divided now, and you see that politics.
Yes.
You see that politics that the Labour Party has really planted in Dominica, that hatred, political hatred. It is caused by the Labour Party, you know. Then this current Labour Party. But in the days of Edward Oliver Libler, the late great Edward Oliver Libler, Patrick John, and even Jane Eugenia Charles and people, Dominica was not like that. Everybody supported their own political party that they wanted. But when it came to a time like Christmas and Carnival, this time in particular, people didn't worry who you support and everything like that. No, it's just a kind of a, my God in heaven, we have to pray for this country, you know. Because this administration has really created a kind of divisiveness in this country. Too divided. Anyway, guys.
Caller, thank you so much.
Don't let that deter you from enjoying your Christmas at all.
We will.
And enjoy it according to the say, enjoy it to the max.
Absolutely.
To the max.
We wish you the same.
Thank
We
you.
wish you the same.
Yes, same to you.
With great health.
Yes, health and strength to you. Yes, brilliant. Indeed. The divisions are very profound and pronounced. And you have to agree that we have matured a little in terms of religion, but the political divide is deep, and especially right now we have a culture of sharing food and sharing ham and sharing turkey and sharing, and it's as though it's one set that would qualify to receive. We really need a unifying force in Dominica. We need leadership by example. We need the kind of leadership that will bring people together, that will provide services on the basis of merit, of need, of if you're giving, just give everybody, or give those who are most in need. Back then, Brother Lita, the giving was just very genuine. You know, you received the little box from overseas, you would share the sugar, the rice, the flour, give your neighbor, give your cousin. These days people are not willing to share. There is a little bit of it still going on in your inner circle, but it is not as prominent. It's not as prominent as it used to be. The giving was just natural. The going around and going to people's homes, and it was just normal.
Yeah, man, Christmas time, neighbors, family members.
That was normal. That was normal. The little cards would come from overseas, a little £20 in Italy, 20 US. Even though no time in the year you would see it.
And a long list of how much to give. I remember my father would get letters, and when he get a letter from my eldest brother, there would be a long list how much to give.
How you share it?
Yeah, how you share it.
Yes.
With me it was different because I was my brother's favorite.
Okay.
So I would get my separate letter.
Separate letter.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But for the others, there was a long list. Give that one 20 US, or give that one 30 US, and so on. And boy, it was just fun.
Yes. That was the time.
Yeah, picnics all over the place. What we call mess.
Yes.
You cook during the night.
Oh yes.
Let's take another one. Thank you for calling. Good evening to you.
Yes, Mr. Letter. I know your program is not for that, but in time of Christmas, peace, love, harmony, and to everybody. You think the two young boys they have in the dirty cell tonight for no reason, they should be there still? Arresting them for nothing?
What's the charge?
I understood they have not charging up to know.
I was not even aware of this thing. I just happened to have seen it on Facebook a while ago.
That is not fair. No law, no nothing. The police officer does what they want. That is not fair, man. Yes. Only in Dominica they will do those things. Only in this country.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, you see, that's the same thing we're talking about. Everything, or not everything, but things should be based on love, understanding, caring, justice.
Yeah.
Do not do unto somebody what you would not like for yourself. Do not ill-treat somebody's child because you have children also. You have grandchildren.
You have other relatives.
And you have other relatives. And I have always said, Brother Steve, maybe as a trade unionist and somebody who really believe in the Christian principle, it's not everything somebody does that you should punish. Sometimes people have problems. You have to find out what their issues are. And try to, maybe do a little counseling with them, advise them, share your experiences. Tell the person, okay, you are going through this thing, but I went through it too. And when I went through it, how I dealt with it, those kind of things. And during Christmas, we should be seeing more of that. But don't you believe? I mean, a lot of us are moving away from this whole Christian principles and beliefs and practices. And And then the other question I have for you is, why is it that before we had more uneducated people, put it that way, but they demonstrated more love, caring, togetherness, and fairness than today. So Brother Steve, you may hold on this one while I just pause to take that call and ask for your comment. Okay, we have lost the caller.
Right.
Sorry about that caller.
No, but you're quite right that we seem to generally forget the reason for the season, which is the celebration of the birth of the Christ child. A mark of the coming of the redemptive Christ for the salvation of the world. And some people like to argue, he was not born on the 25th of December. He maybe was born somewhere in April based on the Roman calendar, blah, blah, blah. Fine. It's an observance. And the fact is he was born. And so we celebrate it on the 25th of December. But some people do observe it, some within the religious circles. If you go in some of the more traditional religious circles, there's Advent, and there's the Christmas season, and the avid churchgoer believer do ensure that Christmas is about Christ. But we have secularized and put a lot of materialism and commercialize the Christmas season. So it's all about what I can get and hope they send me a box and a barrel, go downtown and spend a little extra money and the businesses, making money. I wish we would go back to some of the founding principles of caring and sharing. And you're right that there was not that much educated people or that many educated people in terms of academics, but we had a sense of family and love and community, and that was natural. It was more normal. You still have the barrels coming and the boxes coming, and you see the pot filled with people, but the remittances is almost as though it's based on need and not necessarily a genuine time to share. People are really in need of those things, and they get those things around that time. But back then it was natural, and it was not just boxes from overseas. It's the pork, the natural foods. Everything was being naturally shared around that time, and the cooking, and today coming at your place, and tomorrow night is yours, and that's how it would go for a whole week. And in some communities, they would celebrate a whole week. People would come up and have a good time. So that was Christmas. I think the caller trying to call again.
Thank you for calling. Caller, good evening to you.
And gentlemen, sorry to be calling again,
No problem.
But it is this policy that has spoiled all. And it stems from the top. It stems from the Prime Minister. Because we hear him on the radio, on certain programs, he sounds so charismatic. He sounds so charismatic. Swear that he has no pain. But he's like a wooden under there. Destroying people. He's like a wooden, he's like a cool warden. But he sounds so, listen to him. He sounds so charismatic. Well, we have a stake in what has happened to these two guys who were arrested for nothing. Was he the one who sent the policemen after them? Somebody did it. I fail to believe that the policemen acted on their own to go to the place. I fail to believe it. And all those things are really putting a bad taste to Christmas. All that is putting a bad taste to Christmas. And it has to be stopped. But who's going to stop it? Who's going to stop it? Because he's talking about it that he has made Dominica rich state. So when you want a penny bread, you go to the Prime Minister. You want a pound of sugar, you go to the Prime Minister. And you get it, and you're satisfied. It's like that is life he has. That is not. So, hello, we're going to be in that for the long haul until we decide to put padlocks on that country and close it. That is the only solution. To put padlocks on the country and close it.
Caller, I am not familiar with the guys that got arrested.
That's why
are they part of Munsewi?
They are part of Munsewi.
Okay, so that's the guys.
And they are very vocal on the radio.
Okay. All right.
They are very vocal.
Okay.
But the government doesn't like it.
Right.
Particularly the Prime Minister. Thank you.
It's coming across like persecution.
Yeah.
Okay. I follow.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with the case, Brother Leighton, so I can't
just
make
like
any.
me, I'm not sure
any conclusive.
what happened. So my comment at this time
very limited.
is very limited.
Yeah.
However, I need to say that we should continue to understand that people have a right to express themselves
in this country.
Once it is not a threat to the security of the country,
right.
People have a right to express themselves by speaking out, by protesting, by marching. It is their right.
So to do.
And you cannot deny, or you should never deny these people of those rights unless the actions that they are taking a threat to national security. And the other thing, Brother Steve, we need to see, even when people protest, because we have been in this thing before,
of course,
is you are not there to prevent people from protesting.
Right.
You are there to ensure that the protest does not develop into a situation where lives and properties are threatened.
Right.
But you should never say to a union, for example, that you can protest. You can
demonstrate.
You know, but you have to understand that if a union or any organization, and I'm sorry that we have to digress a little, if any organization decides to protest, they will attract all types of people.
Of course.
And that is where the police comes in.
Yes.
And you have to monitor what is happening. And if you realize that things is getting out of hand, then you deal with these people who you see as a threat to what may have been intended to be a protest or peaceful action.
The police have a responsibility to provide security even to the protesters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But let us. We will do some investigation.
We'll investigate and
as to what is happening.
Something more conclusive on that matter.
Callers, while we appreciate
we're keeping it light tonight.
But we're more talking about the Christmas
season. We keep it light tonight.
So forth,
right? Mellow tonight. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We do have an overseas call, Brother Steve.
Yeah.
Caller, thank you for calling. Good evening to you.
Good evening, my brother Leta and brother Steve.
Good evening. Good evening.
My brother. How are you?
Christmas greetings, my brothers.
Same here. Thank you. Same here.
Brother Leta, you remember the last time I think I talked to, I tell you about that time, Christmas, that's when I just get the shagwe around Christmas.
That's good for you.
Like Carol Festival and Carnival, and I like the Carnival, but I've been up there a while, been away from Dominica for a while, Brother Leta, and I have never settled to accept the fact that I am away from Dominica for Christmas, you know, and it's years, and I just can't take it. Every that's what I get in my shagwe.
Yes, you want to be home.
Yeah. So now when I listen to you guys talking about the carol where you used to be sleeping and the people would come and carol, and I like Lucille said that she right, Merry Christmas, Lucille. Why to be sleeping and you have to open your door because they're going to be pounding the door. You have to open.
You have to open.
Yeah, but on a more serious note, why I really call is because I hear you, Brother Steve, talk about the lack of togetherness, what happening to the society where we are so divided, where the unity is not like before.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
But if that is where I think the problem is, we should find out what is really happening. Because, for example, when you have a hurricane pass in Dominica, like we had Maria and Erica and these things there, it passed for everybody. Black, blue, red, green, Labour, UWP, Freedom, PPP, work, party, everybody. And you have the system itself, a system we create, where you could pick and choose, not based on those who need help, but because of a political party that will bring division. You understand?
Yeah.
When things are like a tough because of the COVID, the economy take a blow.
Yes.
And you're sharing toys. You're not sharing the toys or the ham or the turkey based on who need, because you always have to look for those that need first.
Right.
And you using, Brother Leta, a lot of people take it personal. That is why I always believe, Brother Steve, politics is not personal.
Right.
Anytime I see somebody like taking it personal like this, I know you have something in there for you. You're looking for yourself. I don't discuss politics on a personal level. You understand? Because politics should be about all of us, about the country, what is best for everybody, not for a few. When you have the law selective in terms of justice, I could break the law, they'll come for me. You breaking the law, nothing. Brother Stephen, brother later, that will bring division.
Yeah.
You see, you have to deal with people's fear. Even if somebody have a different view, have a different opinion, a different ideology, a different religion, you cannot hate somebody based on that. You know what I mean? If somebody do you something personal, like the partner you lend the money that he never give you, and he's still coming back and try to persecute, to try to damage your vehicle. Then thing is, and I know you still don't hate him.
Oh no, I don't know.
You know, so that if somebody is a Christian, or we believe we are Christian, brother, later, you'll never hate nobody, because when you hate people, you hate in yourself, you condemn in yourself.
Correct.
You cannot be a Christian and have grudge, victimizing people. You cannot be doing, it's not the nature of a Christian to do this. And then people doing people mischievous, wickedness, you know, holding people down, know somebody deserve what they would have on, denying them the opportunity. That is wickedness. That's not Christian like. You know, but as usual, it's a good program. And
Thank you.
Merry Christmas to you, and I hope the best for the new year, brother, later.
Thank
and
you.
brother Steve, all the best.
All the best.
And I hope you guys achieve more for your people, man, because you know, people who, brother, later, look at this. Christmas pass and we don't get no $10 barrel, you know. We don't get no stimulus.
Yes.
One set of people have all. That is the foundation of the division and the hatred.
Yes.
Correct.
You know, because you red and you blue and everybody have a right to be whatever they wish. I cannot hate somebody because they're red. I cannot hate somebody. That is nonsense. That is your right. That is the right I defend him. For people to have a free choice, freedom in terms of the religion, in terms of the freedom of speech, in terms of the right where everybody is treated equally under the law. You cannot prosecute Bojo and Munsell and you in the same time you only promise that having your super spreader with COVID, have your big thing and no police, iron police talking about it, don't want people to go in people's house. It's again, but in the public, on the bayfront, they have their things spread, and you cannot operate a country like it. Will always have that hatred and that envy, that grudge, that division. That's what killing us.
Double standard.
Enough said. Thank you so much, man.
Yes.
And again, all the best.
Yes. Put your plans in gear so next year you have Shagway. You can come home.
Yeah, you're right. Well, the COVID,
I know.
I got quarantine and it's all kind of problem.
It's not encouraging.
I know the COVID.
It's not encouraging.
But you're right, man. I'll put myself in there so next year Christmas. I don't know.
We hope to see you, God's willing. All right.
All the best.
If God willing, because without him we finish back.
Exactly.
That's when we
all the best. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right, God bless you.
Thank you.
Another caller, good evening. Thank you for calling.
Yes. Good evening, brother Later, and good evening, brother Steve.
Good evening,
brother. How are you?
Even brother Later, listen to this. Just listen how our country come today. That is how our country come. Listen to this. Today I met a laborite, and the laborite is telling me that they are giving out ham and turkey in the Caribbean Reserve. And she tell me tomorrow they'll be giving out in my village. So I asked her, will everybody be getting ham and turkey tomorrow when they start giving out my village? She started a nonsense telling me about my name have to be down on a list. I said, what kind of list? She asked me if I went down by the Labour Party office and put down my name. Brother Later, for the past how much weeks now, I see they have been taking down names at the Labour Party office. Brother Later, the money they're taking to buy the ham and the turkey, is not taxpayers of Dominica money? I would like to know.
Well, it's supposed to be.
Maybe it's a gift to the Labour Party. I don't know. We should investigate. The color must have left. But this, I suspect the topic going to keep coming. But no, we have to ensure that we understand we are all Dominicans. And that's the only label that we should have had in those things.
Exactly.
The fact that we are we are human beings first, and we are Dominicans.
And if it's a situation where you look at the more needy, that's a different
and work for the village council. Why should I have to go through a political office and put down my name to qualify? Get a list of the elderly, the vulnerable in the community as a priority list, and regardless of which party they support that they are. And then you take it from there. And if there are extras, you give other people, you give your people, whoever. But take it from that angle so it looks more fair, and it's administered in a more equitable manner. And people can critique it and say, you see, here they have a nice program at this season, and they're treating everybody fairly. They're doing something, and it's executed in the right way.
But let's see, my big question, and what has been bothering me, is this. We have been talking on all sorts of things, political reform. We have been talking on victimization, injustice, unfairness. One set of people get harmed. I know some people. I know somebody who got more than 7 harms.
Wow!
Right, last year.
Wow.
You understand? Some people had harms for a year, for months and months.
Yes.
I am saying, people are talking about those things. The people who can make a change, why don't they listen?
Yeah.
Digest what is being said.
Correct.
And make the change that need to be changed. Is it a situation where, to hell with what you all see?
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't care.
But see, we cannot continue that way. If something is not making sense, and you are in a position to let it make sense, then you do that.
Yeah.
But I am living in a country, I must admit, where I find that a lot of things we are talking about, people just do not care.
They don't care.
They do not care. It doesn't make a difference.
And in some cases, they can make a difference.
Why can't a village council be responsible to distribute hams and turkeys?
Yes.
Why does it have to be
a party, a political party, a rep?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a PAL rep,
I don't want to get myself involved.
I don't want to get myself involved in the distribution of hams and turkeys. I don't want to get myself involved in the actual distribution of building material and those kind of things.
Yes.
I am not saying that I may not be in a position where I might say to somebody, all right, look, when you remember
these people are also in need.
They are in need.
Yeah.
But to do it solely based on the person's
political affiliation and support.
Because the person support me. No, I wouldn't be able. As a matter of fact, maybe I would never be a very successful politician. Because at the end of the day, even if you support me, but somebody else is more in need than you, I think the priority would go to that person. But we have lost it, Brother Steve. We have lost it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We have lost it. And I'm taking
we need to find our way back.
Yes.
We need to find our way back.
The other point I want to make, I would want to believe that seasons like Easter, Christmas, National Day, Independence Time, and so on, would create the opportunity for people to reflect on their errors, on their mistakes, and correct wherever they have gone wrong. So, for example, we are in the Christmas season now, and since we were little children growing up, we know what Christmas was all about. You have to share, you have to give, you have to demonstrate love, you have to pray, you have to go to church, and those kind of things. So, you would want to believe or want to think that when Christmas comes, around Christmas time, that those who have been ill-treating people, who have been victimizing, who have been unfair to people, that it would provide the opportunity where they would reflect and do and correct they're misdoings.
Well, that is exactly what the religions that observe Advent is a cleansing, is a reflection in preparation for His coming. So it is not just Christmas. It's about really saying to myself, well, for the beginning of the year, I may have done certain things. Last year, I may have done certain things. Let me reflect on my own actions and say, what changes can I make? Because each of us can make a difference.
All right. Let's take this one, Brother Steve. We have lost that caller. All right. Yes, Brother Steve, that is the point.
Yeah.
Going to service, what does it mean?
Yeah.
And the bad thing is, so certain people who will never change or who are not interested in making any change, they are even the ones who quote scriptures. Good evening, caller. Thank you for calling.
Good evening, Mr. Later. Good evening, Steve.
Yes, good evening, my dear sister. How are you?
Belated birthday greetings, Mr. Later.
Thank you so much. Thank
I wish
you.
you all the best, long life, everything you wish yourself, and I'm sure you had a good time.
Oh yes, don't even talk about that. Good time.
Right. Mr. Later, long ago when we stood for Christmas, and those days, the neighbor, remember some people would kill a cow, and everybody gets a little piece. And then that brought family. That must have Baba Uli.
Yes, Baba Uli.
Baba Uli and your grandpa in that. We used to have a nice time, neighbor, and the singing of carols.
Yes.
Then you had your coffee, and only kind of coffee they have there.
Yes.
They have to get.
Real coffee, man.
And your piece of bread and that and things was nice. Everybody together. When you get up in the morning, telling all neighbors Merry Christmas. Mr. Later, when you used to see the work there until by the time you reach your home, if you eat anything at your house,
True, that's true.
you eat all of everybody telling you.
Couldn't be hungry around Christmas, no.
By the time you reach your own home, you cannot do anything. You cannot do anything. That's all.
So, sister, you have said so. What do you think are the reasons why things have changed?
I think it's a greed.
Greed.
And I always say people have to their back to that all the time. Mr. Later, you want to church every Sunday, every Saturday. You understand? You're an adult. Mr. Later, what kind of a person? You have two senior elders. You give one and you don't give the other one.
Yeah.
That's wickedness. That's wickedness.
You haven't got a conscience, Mr. Later. Something is wrong, so they have to turn their backs on God. I always say we have two sides, Mr. Later. The God above and the dead. Some might call it the acolyte of the devil. You have to have a heart, Mr. Later. Even children, you have it for Mr. Later. The children are innocent. You give it some training, you don't give the other, Mr. Later, that will trouble you. So I think it's a form of greed, selfishness, and people have to turn their back on it.
Thank you.
They don't care. And the sad thing about it, look at that in the season of Advent. You understand? We're in the season of Advent, and most of them do that are Catholic. So what happens?
Yeah.
What is wrong? Something is wrong. It's greed.
Yes.
Selfishness. Everybody looking for
We have
themselves.
got a
and they have
conscience.
greed. Some people have turned their back on God. That is the whole problem. When you cannot do this with wickedness, because don't forget to have children for later. You have family. What to do a person, you don't want that to happen to you. I heard some people spoke about the police and so on and so on. But Mr. Later, I know what it would be would be good. Some people do a survey, some people do a survey and find out. Because remember the policemen come from the community. And Mr. Later, right?
Yeah.
They come from the community. It would be interesting to find out the background.
Some of these officers.
Were they brought up properly? Did they have some kind of problem in their life when they were growing up?
Yeah.
Were there some of them who were raped or treated by whatever? So it would be good to that because some of these policemen come from the community. Something is wrong. Anyway, I wish
Thank you very much, sister. God bless you. Thanks for your contribution.
and all what you wish yourself.
Same to you.
You have become strong again. And one want to say, Mr. Later, and please stay with God.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you, my sister.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Absolutely.
It's here again. The joyous times will maximize. It's here
Caller, good evening, and thank you for calling.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Lita.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lita, I have a question to ask you. A legal question. You look at legally. Mr. Lita, is still legal thing for what you're looking for?
I'm not hearing you clearly, no?
Caller, we are not hearing you clearly. I don't know what is wrong with you, with your line.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah. Okay, let's try.
Okay, I'm gonna try for it to get me better. Okay. Now, I have a friend working for a company, right? And now they want him to clock in. Every 2 hours. You have to clock in. And he's checking that not legally, if that is right legally.
Somebody's at work and has to clock in every 2 hours.
2 hours. Is that a legal process?
Every 2 hours.
No, that can be right.
Clock.
You come to work.
Clock in and clock out.
You come to work, you clock in. You're on the compound. When you're ready to leave at the end of the day, you clock out. But you cannot be at work and clock in every 2 hours.
Okay. Now that's the way. What you say that's the way. When the guy first started to work, that's how it used to be. You clock in when you come in, and when you leave in, you clock out. Now they're going to law this month there where you have to clock every 2 hours. You have to be clocking the clock.
Okay, that's nonsense. The guy. No, that's nonsense.
Of the night, and then you go clock in between 3 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. You go clock in. They're not paying.
Well, bro, that's why we say to people that they have to be part of a union. People do not understand the powers that a union has.
Yes.
But people just take everything for granted, and they believe certain things will happen. So my advice to you is to ask the guy to either go to the labor division or to seek a trade union intervention in that matter. Thank you, caller. Caller, good evening. Thanks for calling.
Good evening again. Sir Joseph, you got ham yesterday, no?
Ham?
No.
Oh, they were in your area distributing?
Yeah, I see people coming out for their ham.
I didn't see that.
It looks like they had that in the center yesterday afternoon distributing. Where I see some people I'm taking that politics is too far. Last year, them people are good friends, All where you see one, you see the other. But one is labor, one supporting worker.
Yes.
They're the one was passing with the ham distributing because she can drive. She distributing the ham. And she passed her neighbor, her friend, they always together home straight.
No ham for her.
No ham for her.
Oh, wow.
Because she's supporting labor. She's supporting workers.
And
all the time you getting material, she was with the lady like that to find out where, how, and when she can get material,
Wow.
But the time all things finished,
she's in charge.
Or maybe she have instructions.
She passed the lady home straight.
Yes.
When the lady tell me that, I say, what?
Wow.
For how you and mamsel's friend?
But this is unchristian, though. This is unchristian.
I say,
Unchristian and
I
unchristmas.
wasn't expecting that. And Mr. Joseph and Mr. When you all were in council, it was different.
Yes.
Because council now is like a money laundering thing for the politicians.
Yes,
so
that too.
Use it to distribute their finances to whoever they want. Because here and there among the money that missing in them offices over there, plenty money. There's farmers that's telling who they need. So it's really different. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Right.
Yes.
Things are definitely different.
Yeah.
And what hurts me, what is very painful to me is things are not changing.
But how do people deal
with
their consciences, Brother Lita?
But they haven't got that. You cannot deal with something you haven't got.
How do you come and greet some after you pass with your ham and you pass me street? You pass in the morning, you pass me street, you will say hello. In the evening, what do? You come and pretend like the morning did not exist. If I get the instructions to do that, I will say no. So people themselves have a responsibility, not because pal rep or whoever, caretaker, whoever tell you, give that one, don't give that one. You have to take a stand, whether you're part of that or not.
All right, good evening. Thank you for calling.
Yes, Mr. Layton, and your boy Steve. How you doing, brethren?
Yeah, man.
We're doing well, man. How are you?
Good evening.
How the season going for you guys so far? I know some people can't take the pressure.
It's quiet.
But some people decide to sit and deal with it like that. So this is where we are, brethren.
Yeah.
But, my brother, I was tempted to call because a gentleman just called you. He's trying to speak up for a man who should be speaking up for himself.
Yeah.
The one who clocks in every 2 hours.
Right.
Yes.
Mr. Layton, I've told you before, and I've said it on every show that I call on this radio station. The problem that we have, that everybody keep pointing fingers, scary. Look how many coming back at you. Because every time you point a finger at scared, yeah, he's the culprit who got the thing going, but you have 3-4 fingers coming back at you. You can take the bull by the horn and turn things around. People are scared, and that is why they cannot and will not speak up and stand up for themselves. And in turn, the abuse keeps on going, and everybody runs call the radio. When they run to call you to come up on the street, you don't show. When Mr. Layton have his show on there with the union, trying to tell you the importance of the union, the more, the merrier. That's how the saying goes. When Mr. Layton calling, the man called you last week, he said, what about pensioners? Mr. Layton, you having the show every week, you and Steve on the show all the time, calling people out. Join the union, pay your dues, come to the meeting, this, that. They don't understand the importance of the union in the society, because if this man is a member of the union and he's punching in 2 hours every time you turn around, he could come to the union and the union will back him up. They will stand behind him. He would not have to take that kind of abuse and humiliation. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, yes.
So this is what you guys always talking about. And to my brother from Bowie, Mr. Nati Mali, I heard him a while ago. He said some people take the politics personal, and he's right. Let me tell you, I heard a great man say one time, one of them great politicians here in the United States. I live right in Washington, D.C. I'm in the foot of politics. The man said, he's a talk show host, politics is not no permanent interest. I mean, politics is not something that you take personal. Politics is not personal thing. It's a permanent friend and a permanent interest. So you could vote on either side of the line, but what you do, you vote your interest. You listen to the issues. If a man is in your party and he is immoral, you don't vote for him. That's why as a person living in the United States, I vote and I registered as an independent, not a Democrat or a Republican, because I'm the kind of person, if you ain't doing the right thing, I'm not going to vote for you. But if you are a Republican and you say you're going to do the right thing and your interest is what I'm seeing and you have a track record, I will vote for you. It doesn't matter. No permanent friend, but permanent interest. Good night, fellas.
All right,
Yes,
very
good
good points.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
We have another caller,
Yeah.
Steve. Caller, thank you for calling and good evening to you.
Good evening, sir.
Hey, what's up?
I heard of the past already, but Dad used to spend a week for his, so I should be up on the weekend. So
all right. Yes, man, I'll look out for you.
All right, have a good evening.
Thank you very much, my friend. My village guy.
Yes.
Yes, you have another caller. Good evening, caller. Thank you for calling.
At last. At last.
What's up?
At last.
You go
Compliments
through.
of the season to
Thank you.
the both of you, and belated happy birthday to you, my brother.
Thanks, man.
Again, on the behalf of me, my wife, and family.
I'm listening keenly to the discussion, and there's one thing I must say is that we just behave like we have memory pool. We're in a country where we seem to have lost it a very long time ago. And I will conclude by saying a leper cannot change his own skin, nor can an Ethiopian change his color. And this is biblical.
Yeah.
It is sad. It's a sad day for our country where people are repenting. We are just not, we are unrepentant as to the wrong things we are doing. And that's why I conclude. That's why I make my conclusion. The leper simply cannot change his own skin, and Ethiopian cannot change his color. I don't know if it's another Maria or if it's something worse. We are waiting for it to happen. But it seems we have not learned our lessons in that country. More so, the powers that be has become even more wicked and even more evil. And that's all I'm going to say tonight.
Thank you, God.
God bless you all. Have a blessed season.
God bless you too.
Stay in grace and mercy.
Thank you.
And I know you all are peaceful persons, Brother Steve.
Yeah.
I at one time need to reach out to you sometime or the other and maybe give you a token of something small, maybe not what you would expect, but to just tell you that how much I appreciate you standing up.
Yeah.
For the downtrodden, the victimized, the weak, the those that cannot speak, and sad to say, even those that refuse to speak. Keep doing what you are doing.
Thanks,
There's a place out there for people like you all.
Thank you, my friend.
Have a good night and have a blessed day.
Yes.
God bless.
Right.
Wishing you the best. Yes, but later he used the word unrepentant, and I think that's
and I was about to comment on
yes,
that. We have been thinking,
and I think that is right down the alley of what we were saying, that people go through this season, and it's a time to reflect on their own actions and the implications, and leaders need to do that. Some of them go to church, and they maybe listen to the sermons and the homilies, and maybe it pricks their consciences, but they are so hardened in trying to victimize and discriminate and to squeeze somebody and to longe in our own parlance, so that if others on the other side see others getting, they will join the gang so that they can form the line and have their hands out. We need more persons with compassionate leadership that sees people, doesn't see color, see Dominicans, see people in need, and say, I cannot sleep well if so and so have 5 ham on that side and an old lady because what has none.
But let's see, my question is, what prevents them from seeing it?
I don't know. It's an evil. I think some people have eyes and they cannot see, Brother Lita. Because it's not just only the physical eyes that you have to see with. Some principles and values comes from inside. A person who has conscience, a person who has compassion, a person who has love and caring nature that says, boy, I cannot see somebody suffer. I don't care whether it's my enemy. I don't care whether they voted against me. Why did we get that party system? The party system is simply to offer people a choice,
But that's what democracy is all about.
That's all it's about, It's just to offer people a choice. One set of ideas on this side, one set of ideas on that side, and one set of people decides, okay, I want to form the government because I can do better than that group. But it doesn't mean we are not part of the same country, same nationality, same people, and we end up in that red, blue, if you're not red, you're dead, and the party kind of politics that's tribalized, to the point where our neighbor might be suffering on the other side, and because they are not part of our grouping, we do as though they don't exist. And I think maybe we really need to question those persons who can make a difference, those in religious leadership, those in civil society, those within our own grouping within the union, because not all trade unionists are talking out on these issues. I think we need to grow that attitude of caring and loving and compassionate leadership again.
Yes, Bercy, that is true. Yeah. And just before I allow this caller to make his or her contribution, I want to share something. A very senior public officer said to me about 2 weeks ago, a lot of things that we are going through, and he's a very religious person, a lot of things we are going through is as he believes it is a form of punishment for some of the things we are not doing or we are doing.
Okay.
Caller, good evening. Thank you for calling.
Mr. Lisa and Brother Steve, gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Well, boy, tonight getting you all is like you have to climb on Everest, you know.
The lines are all lighted up.
Oh, yeah, the lines have to try for the longest while.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me begin by wishing Mr. Lisa belated birthday greetings, Mr.
Thank you.
Lisa.
Thank you.
Remember, you are climbing, let me tell you, because it will be a little joke, Mr. Lisa. It is a ladder you're climbing in life.
Yep.
So every birthday, you are one step closer to the top of the ladder. Now the top of the ladder is there, eh? So don't forget that. So every step you climb, remember you're getting closer, eh?
Yes, that's
all right. Anyway, gentlemen, I want to wish you all, well, I'm not saying Merry Christmas, a blessed Christmas, and a prosperous New Year.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Right. Now, gentlemen, we talk about Christmas, and I wish you could bring back Christmas of the 60s, the 70s, and maybe even the 80s, you know. Because in those days, Christmas has so much meaning to us.
Yeah.
To me, right now, the commercialization of Christmas has just changed everything. And not only that, the attitude of people nowadays, the uncaring nature of people, the selfishness of people. In other words, we had the caring nature before. We had the togetherness before. We had the sharing before, gentlemen. And then people, at Christmas time, everybody look forward to Christmas because you go from house to house. I'm from Granby, and then Granby was a place we used to have a lot of fete in Granby. After midnight mass, there used to be dance, and then people have practically everywhere you pass, there was a mess after midnight mass, right?
Yes,
because
that's right.
To go to midnight mass, and after the midnight mass, those who go to dance, they go to dance.
That's right.
But those who don't go to dance, you have your broth, your mess, and everything, and merry, right? Today, you have people talk about making any Christmas broth and those things there.
No.
We don't hear this again. You understand the sharing? If your neighbor kill a pig, you get a few pounds. If you kill a goat, you give them.
That's right.
That was what Christmas was all about.
Of course.
We drank, we went from house to house and to marry. But today, the selfishness of people, man, the greed has changed everything, gentlemen. Anyway, have a good evening.
Caller, you're so much on point.
Yes, indeed.
On point. Thank you, caller. Good evening to you.
Hello,
caller. All right.
We're not hearing you.
We're not hearing you, caller.
Try again.
Something
Try another line.
Wrong, so let's take this one. Overseas line, caller. Good evening. Thanks for calling.
I have to call you again.
Yes.
Steve just told you one word sums it up.
Yeah.
That they lack conscience.
Yeah.
They lack conscience. And Mr. Layton, Steve is a very wise man. They are enslaved by a party. They have become slaves to a party and one man.
Yeah.
And when a person gets like that, they have lost their way. So which means the country now is suffering. And I'm not no fortune teller or any person who is that clairvoyant. But I'm telling you, it's going to take the country almost the same amount of time to return that cycle, to turn that cycle. Because even when you put that kind of element out of office, it still lingers. So you have to keep working on it. There is something that takes place when you see things like that happen. And I've seen it, and I will tell you. There is a video that I looked at. The same thing was done in Malaysia. And this is a place that the prime minister like to go. This is where they used to go and party. So these guys all run in the same circle. The man was doing the exact same thing that Spirit is doing. And when that thing came to a head, you know, when he got voted out, the people who he was giving the money and everything, all of a sudden everybody starts coming out talking about it and saying how they were getting the money and they long for it to come back. Even when the country trying to persecute and take that man to do right by the country, and the people who were supporting that still ended up. So they have become addicted to being like that. They have been constituted and they don't see, and it's a detriment to the country. Thank you, fellas.
Thank you, fellas. Thanks for your contribution. Hello, good evening. Thank you for calling.
Good evening, brother.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Brother, I was just saying that people have become very critical already. But the people that are saying these things, so you get special and you the people in need. I mean, some of the people that don't even want it. These people that are not really getting it. So they should change their strategy to try to get the most to read of these things.
Right. You're not hearing you too clearly, though.
Oh, brother, people equal to help you.
All right, well, we are not hearing you too clearly. I do not know what is wrong.
But she's saying that you should really give people that most in need. That's what I heard.
Oh, okay. All right, caller, thanks. Yes.
Yes, brother.
Yeah, but that's how it should be.
That's how it ought to be. That's how it ought to be. Care for all the people. And but if you are a member of parliament, or you aspiring to be a member of parliament, you went up for a party, you didn't win, but you're a caretaker, you're a senator, you whatever you are. But how do you become selective as to who gets what and who doesn't get? But in 5 years' time, or when the 5-year mark gets here and you want to be re-elected,
you come back to all the people.
You come back to all the people now.
And you visit all of them.
And you knock every door because you want their vote.
Shameless.
But the year before, when you had ham and turkey sharing, you had a list. You had a selected list. How have our people allowed themselves to be duped into accepting that kind of culture of division, divide and rule?
It's just what people said, Steve. It's greed, it's selfishness.
Greed and selfishness.
So I didn't see you for 5 years.
Yeah.
You never kept in contact with me for 5 years.
Yeah.
But just before election, 2 months before.
Yes.
You find yourself
money sharing, material sharing
on my doorstep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you know why? You're now offering me a window.
Mm-hmm.
You're now offering me a few doors.
Yes.
And so on. Or some money. I mean, it is so sad.
Yes.
It is so sad that it hurts.
It is.
It is
sad.
painful.
It is sad.
You understand?
It is sad.
I mean, we are talking about Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to identify the people who are in greater needs than others. It's very, very easy.
Yes, yes.
I mean, nowhere in Dominica do you have any residential area with maybe 10,000 people.
No.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
Not even a constituency
No.
has that number of people.
Yeah.
So we know people so well. We know what their needs are. We can see the condition that they are living in.
Yeah.
And when you're telling me that Christmas doesn't, how should I say it? It's not something that causes you or makes you reflect on all the nonsense that you may have been doing for the 11 months. But in other words, instead it's even worse, because here you get an opportunity to give something to somebody. But let's see, even today, I was sharing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a rich person.
Right.
But I stretch a hand to certain
You
people.
give what you have. You give
and
what you have.
I have been doing that for the past 2 weeks.
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly. It is a time
Because
for giving.
God bless me, boy.
You bless
bro,
somebody else.
And I use that blessing. I pass on that blessing to somebody else.
Oh,
And I believe that is what life
is about.
Is
Yes.
all about. But it is really sad. It is sad.
While I commend the highly religious people who really take this season to reflect on the birth of Jesus, and they observe the Advent, the midnight mass or service or whatever the case is. Part of the problem is a lot of our good people in the society are silent. A lot of our good religious people are either dormant, they are too religious, and the level of spirituality that should birth the actions that suggest I want better for my people. Do something with the belief that you have. Speak out against the injustice. You don't get involved in those kind of actions that is selective, that is unfair, that is unjust. Don't be led down that rabbit hole. Stand up and say, no, that is wrong. Whether you support the party or not, or you support the rep or whoever it is, be able to stand on the principles that you say you believe in as a Christian or whatever faith you have, and act it out. Don't just go to church and sing songs and when it's wider society and the community, because you're perpetuating the very evil that we are talking about.
But let's see if some of them what is wrong. What is wrong in life are things like adultery and fornication. And they close their eyes
to the injustice.
They close their eyes to the victimization that is taking place. They close their eyes to a number of other things that are wrong. So all they talk about is things like murder. So you're a murderer. You shouldn't murder. You shouldn't commit adultery. You shouldn't fornicate. And that is what. And you know why they do that? Because they too have become very materialistic.
And self-righteous.
And because they have become very materialistic and self-righteous, there are certain things you just close your eyes to. You are blind to certain things. And you are in bed with some people who are doing the wrong things. And that is what is happening.
Wrong is wrong.
My brother, it is a sad day. And we are saying, when will those things change? Last year we had so much talk about who got harm and who didn't get harm and so on. You would have thought that this year it would be done differently. I am not saying that people should not get harmed.
Of course.
You understand? But I'm saying last year it was not right. It was not done properly. But you have the very same people repeating the same things that happened last year. And then when you talk about those things, some loudmouth person might just come and say, oh, latent save. They want people to get harm and this and that.
That's not the idea. That's not the idea at all.
You understand? That's not the idea. You know?
And I trust that public officers themselves are not involved supporting, that level of inhumane divide and rule. The sad thing is we get blindsided, and public officers, educated, some of them in high offices, sometimes get down that path as well. I really hope that we can learn this year and correct our ways in the near future.
Caller, good evening, overseas line. Good evening, thank you for calling.
That is a provocative conversation you have with there. That's why I have to call back. But Brother Later, listen to this, right? I was listening to Pastor Randy Rodney, and Pastor Randy Rodney to listening good night to you and your wife and Pastor Jack and all the good folks. Christmas greetings. Pastor Randy said something that stick back on my head. He said something like food to unite people, to bring people together. If you're using food to divide people, where food is the easiest thing where people could come together. And food, it could be a tool to unite the people, and you're doing the way opposite. You understand? I find that make a lot of sense because, you know, I'm from Salisbury, the higher part of Salisbury, Lasavan. And everybody eating by everybody. And I always have gel do. What my mother used to say, I like good food, I like nice food. And in the neighborhood, Lasavan, that Salisbury, Upper Salisbury. Everybody, imagine the people that never used to know what political party they belong to unless it's not election.
True.
We all used to eat at each other's home, go in each other's house, come out one. If you're not there, your neighbor watching your house, nobody can come in, and you don't know who come in. It's like the kind of division. It's like ridiculous, and that is why I support the United Workers Party. I'll say it straight up. But I never attack the supporters of the Labour Party. You know why? I need the supporters of the Labour Party to support the United Workers Party. So if you're on one side, and I'm on the other side, and you're doing me mischief, you victim. How the hell do you expect me to come on your side?
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to show love. Talk to me, you know, let me nice. Maybe I will listen to you, maybe you can even win me over. You understand? That is why I say again, politics is not personal to me because Dominica is a small country. The United Workers Party need the supporters of the Labour Party. The Labour Party need the supporters of the United Workers Party and the Freedom Party and so on. You cannot put each other against each other and think it's a good political strategy for you to stay in power and have all the resources of the country doing whatever you want. We don't know how it is spent. Using it against the people. You know, but food should be something to bring us together, brother, later. When people need a plate of food, they'll be so happy they forget all the mess with them. Everybody forgetting everything and eating together, and you can start like that. So Christmas is a good time for us to reset, for us to share, come together, go to church. Even that when 3 months after Christmas, everything come back, but right between Christmas season, hurricane, you see, instead of people get better, they're getting worse. Anyway, I gonna stop there. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Colin. Thanks.
Yes. But I really thought after Maria that we had gotten all the ingredients to be converted as a country. Because I saw the rich, the not so rich, the poor, all came down to one level. People that had 2 free vehicles in their yards, how many stories end up in the river just like me washing, having to walk, you know, how many miles, you know, from lines to get water and food, and people were together, people were helping each other, and I really thought, well, the hurricane didn't just affect one group, it affected all of us. And we didn't ask which color, which party you support. And all of a sudden things are getting back a little normal and we are back to our old habits.
Well, Hurricane David did that. What are you talking about, Brother Steve? Because after Hurricane David, I saw people being united, they helped each other to build.
Kudme and building
this
back
whole
houses.
Kudme thing was intensified.
Yes.
And so on, people on weekends helping each other to build and so on. You know, people going to the farm, and I mean, I saw that coming after Hurricane David in 1979. But I believe the other hurricanes and the other storms, the other severe conditions that we have had has just...
It was politicized too.
It was politicized, and people are just more divided, and this situation is not getting better. Caller, thanks for calling. Caller, good evening, and thank you for calling.
Yes, my brother, what's up?
We are good, thank you.
Well, Mr. Leta, as I keep saying now, the situation that we are in now is the parents used to caution whatever thing coming inside of their house. But the parent is not cautioning nobody to what is coming inside of the house now. And it starts from the head of the family. Whether the minister family, whether the prime minister family, whether whoever family, that is where it
starts. And the problem lay down on all of us. Do not blame Roosevelt Kerry. Do not blame Melissa. Blame Dominicans on a whole. From the jump start, they go to hell. They should understand what life is. That their mother never tell them go to hell. When she asks, where you get the money from? You could have told you to go to hell is not a business where you get the money from. All your fingers break one time, no supper for you, and go and wash the plate. But today, they have separated, Mr. Later. How can you separate agriculture from your whole culture in itself? And agriculture is the greatest culture upon the earth, because that is where they tell you you must eat what you grow. All shall eat and none will starve. Half a loaf is 20 bread. The half a loaf was a piece of dashin and yampe, goat meat, sheep meat, whatever it was. We used to enjoy it. But look today, Christmas. Instead we get one another together. You trying to tell me, don't go by my family, and you telling me go in the supermarket to buy what? 200 people there waiting, which cash for me to choose? And my family that can cook a little thing for me to eat instead I one beg for a piece of ham. She accustomed of making ham, and she cooking that. When she cook that, she putting everything in that. And that seems so nice, because even though she sweat for that, so we enjoying that. But when you give us that, it's half rotten already. You have to eat it fast. So I call in on the parents for 2022. Let us bring back what we used to bring on the doorstep, a bag of food from the garden. Because if you don't have that running into the system for 2022, let me tell you something. There is nothing, no alternative for Dominica again, because you won't be able to eat what you grow, for us to pay for it in the market. So I warn you, bring back the milk and honey. And unless we do bring back the milk and honey in Dominica, Mr. Leta, sorry for telling it to you, but you can cry from December to December next year. Nothing will not.
Thank you, caller. Thanks for your contribution.
Okay, thank you.
God
thank
bless
you.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Yes, we receive.
Yes, Brother Lita,
we can begin to round up.
Yeah, well, I still hope that people can have, a blessed and peaceful and healthy Christmas, that families can come together and still enjoy whatever they have. Even though they have ham, they have a piece of pork, they have a piece of beef, they have a piece of goat, whatever, the little sorrel, sorrel juice. Have a good time. I think it's COVID. We hope people can respect the protocols. I'm sure some people having a little party, some have weddings, some have anniversaries, whatever the event, respect the COVID protocol and enjoy yourself in peace and love and harmony. But we really need to erase that culture of tribalism that is creeping into our society, that culture of division, that culture of partisanship, of groupings, and really forgetting the people who are most in need, most vulnerable among us, really caring for people in communities the way we used to. We need to grow back those values of community cohesion and community togetherness and family and caring and sharing, and that sense of justice and fairness and love for each other. And that is what our everyday life should be, and not even just around Christmas. It should be how we behave as human beings, to care and love and share and ask forgiveness if we do something wrong, be repentant if necessary. I want to pause to just wish everyone a healthy and blessed Christmas this year, and for a prosperous 2022. Well, all the best to you as well.
Well, Steve, I just want to wish you the same. I want to wish all our members success in 2022. I pray that you all will enjoy the season. Yes, we are missing on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot. We wish things were better with you economically or financially, but it is what it is, and we have to make the best of the situation, and that you make some plans for 2022 you provide more support to your union, you take your own interest more seriously, and that things can look better. It takes each and every one of us to make this country move forward. We have to take the right decisions at the right time. We do not have to condone what is wrong. Let us speak against what is wrong. Let us support what is right. Our religious leaders, you need to reflect. There are a lot of things that are happening in this country that are not right. You need to speak against those things. You need to support what is right. And I'm aware, I don't know whether Brother Steve is aware. I mean, even myself, Brother Steve, sometimes we come under some serious criticism from religious leaders, you know, too. You know, that guy Leighton, Steve, qui sort ça Leighton qu'a parlé contre là. And you know, these are people you would expect to speak different. But Dominica, it's a different time. I am not too sure whether the things that we're asking for will ever see them change, but we just have to have hope, faith. We have to keep on praying and to do what is right.
Yes.
Thank you all so much, and may God richly bless each and every one of you until next Wednesday. But see if I will see you on.
Yes, hopefully. Good night.